And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, here we are again, another day committed to being your number one consumer advocate. It's all about you as a consumer out there. We want to help you win in any marketplace. That is our number one goal.
The only thing I'm addicted to right now is winning.
Yeah, we're going to educate, we're going to entertain, we're going to enlighten, and engagement is the best thing for us. We had a lot of calls last week, people calling in, looking at refinancing their mortgage, maybe taking some cash out. We had some folks reaching out about credit improvement and just general real estate questions in general, as well as some of our attorneys getting involved with the legal advice that we offer here for our listeners. 813-670-7372. That's our consumer advocate hotline number. Save that number in your phone. At some point, you're going to need it. Maybe a loved one might need it. 813-670-7372. Also, bookmark our website, consumerqb.com. Check out the newly updated website, consumerqb.com. A plethora of information available there. And anybody that you hear on our show, you can see underneath the Expert Contributors tab. So, of course, we're radio and TV show here on WeBeam TV, Apple TV, Amazon, Roku, Sony TV, Google Play. You can find us on all of your smart devices by just checking out Binge Networks. That's the network that we're on. And it's Intelligent Talk Radio. I've got some intelligent folks here in studio with me today. Back in studio, my man Scott Kepler, Mortgage Approval Group. Welcome back, sir.
Thanks, Brandon. Always great to be here. Again, looking forward to having some good conversation, but more than anything, helping out. The consumers are out there. They're listening and watching us on, all the different media outlets.
That's right. Yeah, being that consumer advocate, helping people in the mortgage space, maybe, bringing to light some of the, I think we kind of entered into, in the real estate space, this space where it was so good for so long. And we've got an article here. We're going to talk about Case-Shiller 20-City Home Price Index, the Case-Shiller Index and CoreLogic Report. But it's talking about the merging into a buyer's market, and with that comes the iBuyer program. So we've got Keller Williams offering a iBuyer program coming out soon. So Garry Keller's throwing his hat in the ring with all of these so-called we'll buy your property cash, instant offers, those type scenarios. So it's an interesting real estate game and the strategy that some of these big national hedge funds are taking. And as we talked about on the show, a lot of them are utilizing, in my opinion, very misleading advertisements to make the consumer think, oh, we're not going to pay much commission, and they're going to give us a fair offer. And then when you actually analyze the stats, they're charging 2-3% commission. But that's their claim, is that they're not doing that. So, so Scott Kepler, he's a mortgage expert here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We got Garry Schofield in the house as well, Febre Frameworks. Welcome back, sir.
Oh, thank you. I missed last month, but yes, I'm back.
And you got lots of experience in the real estate game, and then specifically also with Febre Frameworks, you are in the management role over there, helping them with, think about the logistics of how many properties you guys are photography. You're doing a lot of logistics over there with Febre Frameworks.
That sure is. We were just looking at one earlier. There's one listing has 86 photos, and we 3,100 realtor clients.
Wow.
That we're up. Yeah, we're blowing it away.
That's awesome, man.
Keeping us busy.
Very cool stuff. Yeah, that's awesome. I thought you were maxed out at 50 now on MLS. Where's the 81 come in?
Well, so you have a choice, and now the MLS is 50, but you have all other types of media or marketing that you want to do personally. There's no limit on some of those places.
Oh, okay.
So it's up to you. They're your photographs.
Cool.
Once you purchase them from us, they're yours. You can do whatever you want with them.
Nice. Yeah, Febre Frameworks, the official real estate photographer of the Consumer Quarterback Show, now going on 3+ years, I believe, almost 4 years probably. But Sean Febre, Manny Febre, Jeanette Salden, great team over there. You guys do a great job. And we're going to talk more in depth about the real estate side, the photography side, the utilization of drones, not only in the real estate industry, but our feel-good story of the day is a good one. Drone in Maryland makes history by delivering organ for successful transplant in our Feel Good segment of the day. So drones are not just for real estate photography or taking pictures at the park. They got a real application for it here. So we're going to talk about that on the Consumer Quarterback Show. But on the phones, we've got Clyde Smith. He's the general manager of Bilmar Beach Resort, our official hotel partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Welcome back to the show, Clyde.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you having me back on. It's always good to be there in person, but I appreciate you letting me call in on these busy beach days.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. Doing some really good stuff over there as manager of the Bilmar Beach Resort. Also, you've got Sloppy Joe's restaurant as well, Treasure Island right there on site. What a great property you guys have over there, man.
We sure do. And as you just experienced, you got the Beach Cafe also serving a hot breakfast on the beach every day. And I've got a great Mother's Day brunch coming up there. It's really fun. Live entertainment and just a whole lot of activity going on.
Yeah. Just such a great time out there. I really enjoy going and hanging out on Treasure Island Beach, the Bilmar Beach Resort. Just so many cool things, events coming up. The last event that we were just at there was the Petty Hearts, I believe. Is that the name of the band it was?
Exactly.
Petty Hearts.
Tom Petty Tribute Band. I thought they did a great job.
That was really cool. Good time. The community came out. They blocked off the whole street there, and just a fun time. And there's so many things to do in Treasure Island. And from the standing ovations we've talked about in the past, the standing ovations was
Every
a really
November.
cool. Yeah. That's in November when it's.
And we've added even more to do on property. We've actually doubled our commitment to live entertainment. So we've got, in addition to our, every Wednesday we have Dixieland Jazz. That's just real fun to come out and listen to some New Orleans style jazz. But we've added a guitarist for lunch and Sloppy Joe's on most days, and almost every night now we're doing live entertainment in addition to all the other great entertainment in Treasure Island. So it's a great spot to come over and just relax and listen to the songs you love.
Yeah. There was even some karaoke going on, and the girls were talking about getting up there. I don't know what happened to that. I guess their courage ran out, the liquid courage, maybe.
Yes, exactly. It's karaoke alive and well on the island. But I told them if they ever hear me singing, it's going to be my going away party.
Okay. Yeah.
Not my forte.
Now, Clyde, you coined this phrase, and I use it from time to time when I'm plugging the show here, or the Bilmar Beach Resort, the two-beer beach. What exactly is a two-beer beach?
Two-beer beach. Well, Treasure Island, we're very unique that we're one of the few beaches that do allow open container, just no glass and, no overreacting, no carrying on. But it's a very deep beach here on Treasure Island, which, especially at the center part where we're at, and the joke is 2 beers or 1 killer margarita because it takes that long to walk out there. Yeah. But the great news is once you're out there, you've got turbo renting cabanas and chairs and paddle boards, which some chairs and paddle boards do come with your stay here. But you can go down there and you're at water's edge and you're not hearing the cars going by or a lot of things. Some neighboring resorts aren't quite as secluded. So it's great once you're down there. You can bring a cooler. We'll pack you a lunch through the cafe or Sloppy Joe's and just go down and spend the day.
Yeah, it's so nice. Such a nice beach. It's a long beach. And you also have a great opportunity for businesses. We're on the Wall Street Business Network here. 5 o'clock drive time. We got a weekend show on the bone. A lot of business owners that are potentially thinking about corporate events or maybe even a wedding.
Absolutely. We specialize in beach weddings, have a great crew that puts those on. But like right now, we've got a small convention going on, and they're doing some retail work in the ballroom. We have a 28-square-foot, 100-square-foot ballroom. And then if we want a nice outdoor party, we have a 4,000-square-foot sun deck. A lot of people don't realize how big that is. But wow. You can put multiple 20-by-20 tents up there, and there's a great New Year's Eve party that comes in, and they rent that whole area and the ballroom. It's a great big party. I had about 500 this last year. But it's available anytime. We do corporate picnics out on the beach with get the grill fired up and going, and on occasion we'll let someone even rent one of our 2 swimming pools, which is great to have too. So you can just incorporate all of that. There's a volleyball on the beach and all the beach games and the fire pit. So, have a 4-person conference right out of fire pit and around that chair. So
yeah, absolutely. Good time. That's awesome. Now, Clyde, with the advent of the internet, it's interesting when you think about the travel agency business, how that's kind of slowed down. I guess there's still some prominent travel agencies out there, and then people are confused. Do they go online to try to get the best price? Do they contact directly? What's your advice there?
Yeah, my advice is that you can look at us online. I think that's a great way to go and get the visual of the pictures. You definitely want to look at BilmarBeachResort.com. Look carefully, though, because some other people mask websites to make them look very similar, but then you're not getting the best value. You can always get the best value by booking online directly or calling us and let us walk through. And we've got about 12 different room types. 90% of them face the beach, but we can walk you through what you're really looking to do. If you're just coming one night, then one of our traditional rooms would be fine. But if you're bringing, the children and you maybe want to do some cooking, 2/3 of our rooms have kitchenettes in them. So you can do the breakfast there or go to the cafe or a combination of both.
Very cool. Yeah, lots of options at the Bilmar Beach Resort. Clyde Smith, general manager, longtime friend of the program. And, thanks so much, Clyde, for calling in, giving us that beach report, things happening over there in Treasure Island. And it seems like it's always sunny and 75 around here, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And, Memorial Day weekend's coming up. We do still have some rooms for that, but the other weekends aren't quite as busy. It might be a better getaway for someone. We'd love to have them come over.
Awesome. Sounds great. Check them out online, BilmarBeachResort.com. Clyde Smith, the general manager, got a great staff over there, and just a great opportunity for anybody looking for, locally here. So we call it a staycation. If you're out of town, it's a vacation for you. So Clyde Smith, thanks for calling in. We appreciate you.
Thanks again. Have a great show, Brandon.
Hey, my pleasure. Thank you. All right, when we come back, more from our expert contributors in studio here. We're going to talk a lot about real estate today, real estate photography, mortgage approval groups in the house as well, Scott Kepler. And we're going to talk a little bit about these iBuyer programs, and Keller Williams is launching their iBuyer program in May. And also drones. We're going to talk about some drones here on the show. Stay with us right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
This is Ward Dunn, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show, hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at ConsumerQB.com.
This is the Cannabis Podcast, powered by TrueLeaf on Radio Influence. It's an inside look and the scientific facts in and around the world of medical cannabis. Now, here is your host, Ian Beckles.
He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show. We're sharing some drone stories between the break there, and some good stuff there, some fun. So here we are in studio helping you win. This segment is brought to you by Brothers Easy Moving. The official moving partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show is Brothers Easy Moving, and they do a great job. And I can tell you from firsthand experience that they are a first-class organization. Garry Thacker and his team at Brothers Easy Moving, they're among the highest reviewed movers in all of Tampa Bay, on 4.6 rating on Google, one of the highest in the area, A rating on their Better Business Bureau, as well as Angie's List, and they also have a 4.5 rating on Yelp. So reach out to Brothers Easy Moving, whether you're moving local or long distance. Brothers Easy Moving is the official moving partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show and the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. We want to help you win in any marketplace. Coming up, I've got an event I'm speaking at. I'm going to be a featured keynote speaker here at Become a Better Agent, BABA 31, coming up on the 20th of May. So any realtors out there that are interested in honing in their skills and trying to reach that next level, I'm going to be speaking on stage about negotiating like the FBI, and also I'll be speaking about branding. My wife is talking about feng shui as well, as she's a feng shui consultant, and she's going to be talking about ways that you can design your space to maximize the workflow. Better Workspace with Feng Shui from Lindsay Rhymes. And we are back here in studio. We got Scott Kepler in the house, Mortgage Approval Group. And yeah, Scott, it's an interesting time in the market. You know, this article's talking about the Case-Shiller, which is a 20-city home price index. So what they do is Case-Shiller, they take the top 20 property real estate markets, that is. Your New York, your LAs, your Dallas, your Tampas, your Atlantas, those places. They're taking the top 20 in they call it the Case-Shiller index. So home prices are on the rise, climbing 3% year over year, according to S&P CoreLogic, Case-Shiller 20-city home price index. In February, they just released, and it's still saying that's growing, but it's growing but slowing. Some experts are predicting that we are increasingly entering into a buyer's market. So it's going to kind of open with that and see, what are you seeing over there at Mortgage Approval Group? What are you guys focused on?
Obviously we're focused real heavily now on the spring buying season. And,
yes.
And if you continue on with the article, that's what it goes into, is that, now is the time if you're a seller.
That's right.
Because you get that little bump of spring buyers. And
that's right.
We've talked about it kind of going with the school season. People want to move while their kids are out of school. And so they start getting prepped here in, April, May, early June, so that they can close on the house in, that June, July, August timeframe. And the article goes on to say that, you can get as much as, I think it was 9.2% more by listing and selling your house in that time frame.
Yeah.
And I think the key, part of that too is, don't get too aggressive with it. Put it at a price where you get multiple bid offers, and
yes.
I think that's how they end up getting to that 9% more in a lot of cases.
That's
is that
right. They've
got the house price right. They take advantage of the pros for the photographs that we're talking about.
Yes.
And they go above and beyond to market that property when it hits the market hard like that, with all of that information and all of those details, and it's got the feng shui going, and
that's right.
The whole 9 yards. It appeals to so many different people that way, and a house with really great photographs that maybe is an average house is going to sell for more than a house that has maybe a little bit more superior of a house, but with really bad photographs.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're going to get a lot more traffic through that, through
absolutely.
that. And I think that's all part of, setting that right price and marketing in the right way. And that's where your team obviously comes in, because you can, direct that, and that's your specialty.
Yeah.
And I see a lot of home buyers. Sometimes I have multiple people that are pre-approved for a mortgage that are trying to buy the same house if they're in that same market. That happens sometimes when it's a good, good property with good bones, and it's marketed well.
That's right. Yeah, it's interesting when you look at the seasonality, especially here in Florida. The spring buying season. This article is confirming that you make more money. Sometimes you look at it too, like there's more buyers, but there's also more sellers. So you got to be careful with the way that plays out sometimes. And then whenever you are one of the few properties for sale in December, and you're actually dealing with people around the holidays, then you kind of stand out as well because you're less inventory, and there are some really earnest buyers out there that have to move from a job transfer, maybe something to do with McDill or their job. They're got to get that move done before the end of the year, and then you get into the tax plays. So it's funny how each time of the year has its own little pros and cons.
Sure.
But this article is confirming that the spring selling season is when you're going to make the most bump on the price point. And then, of course, it also says, it goes on to talk about, here's a big question that we get a lot of times. And of course, you've got those renovation loans, the different types of, Fannie has one, FHA has one, I believe.
Yep.
So pause before you renovate. He says, while you might be tempted to put in top of the line kitchen or fresh bathroom, most of the time you don't recoup the cost of a big time renovation when you sell. According to a study of 22 major renovations, with the 2 renovations where you recoup the highest percentage of your costs, garage door renovation and manufactured stone veneers. You're still out of pocket at least $100. So if your house is in decent condition, you may be financially better making smaller cosmetic updates that don't cost too much.
I think that's true if you're trying to sell it immediately
For a profit,
Not to mention that if you look at the amount of money that you put into, say, a new kitchen, it's gonna be a lot more appealing that if you're priced maybe a little bit less than what you'd spend on the kitchen, and let somebody else do that.
Yeah.
Because then they can do it the exact way that they want.
Yep.
I mean, I suppose it could go either way, but I think that you're going to get people who go to renovate a kitchen with the idea of selling the property immediately, don't go with the highest quality, and in the long run that hurts more than it helps, I think.
Yeah.
So.
It's interesting too, and it kind of goes back to the golden rule of real estate. You make your money on the buy side. So if you're flipping the property and you put too much money into it, especially how it got so competitive at the foreclosure auctions at the county courthouse, now people can sit on their computers. I've seen guys with literally 7 or 8 computer screens, and they're clicking on this county and that county, and they're making bids. Like, it got so competitive to that point. So if you overinvest in the property, and then you feel like, oh, let's put the new bathrooms in. I'm watching HDTV. That's what they say to do, right? Yeah. So you look at these shows, but at some point you're going to have diminishing returns, and then you look at what the national hedge fund buyers do. These guys, again, that I alluded to in the opening segment, where they come in with these, we'll buy your house fast, and it's an easy deal, and
Sure.
By the way, there's not many costs involved with what we do. They offer you less than you can make if you were to go retail,
right.
Which is about the same time closing in some cases if you're listing it properly. So these companies come in and do that, and then they do the little light renovations with, maybe some new flooring, maybe a new countertop.
Right, the things that they're talking about in this article that gives you the most bang for your buck.
That's right.
The garage door renovation. I mean, sometimes that's as simple as painting it or, replacing it, and or a panel. Assuming that you've got a dent in one or something like that. I think you can even get them wrapped now.
Probably. I wouldn't doubt it, yeah.
And you can get all kinds of crazy designs that look like real wood, and, all the different things. And I would see where that would give it a lot of curb appeal, because that's such a big piece of what you're seeing when you're looking at the front of the house in most cases.
Sure. Yep. And Scott, it goes on to talk about upgrading some of the finishes, fixtures, and equipment. So that's another easy change out.
Yeah, those are easy things you don't need a renovation loan for. I mean, they're pretty inexpensive. Especially around here, with the humidity and everything. Sometimes that metal outside gets pitted, and, you can replace it for, $50 to $150 and really upgrade the whole look of your house.
Yep. And then it goes on to talk about staging. Statistics show that, a staged home is going to sell faster for more money if it's staged. And so Nathan Garrett, this gentleman in Kentucky, is talking about create more floor space by removing any unnecessary furniture, creating more closet space by packing away 50% of your belongings. So it looks like there's plenty of storage.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that's a big key to it. People want to be able to picture their things in there, but not have too much personal things from other people,
Right.
so that they can ideally look at it as theirs. Oh, well, maybe we could move the couch over here, or we could, put the bed on this wall,
Yep.
But if it's just an empty room, or it's got all your personal things, then you feel like you're in somebody else's house, and it's hard for them to envision it.
That's right.
And I think that's the big key to staging, is being able to present it as this could be your house.
Yeah, and it looks like a hotel lobby, or it's just
Yeah,
a neutral
I mean,
space, neutral colors,
you think
and it's
about
not
it-
emotionally tied to the owner.
Yeah, if you got a builder's got a show home, it's always furnished and decorated, and pictures on the wall, and looks like somebody's been working in the kitchen, that kind of stuff.
That's right. Yep, and coming up for Brave Frameworks, we're going to talk about virtually staging as well, because it's a lot more affordable to do virtual staging with the photography than it is to actually physically move furniture in and out of the house, and all
fantastic.
the hassle of that. So Scott Kepler, Mortgage Approval Group, local lender, support your local economy here. Scott Kepler, local mortgage lender, and Garry Schofield coming up as well for Brave Frameworks in the house, talking about real estate photography, how you can maximize the exposure and the presentation of your property. Stay with us right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Our feel-good story of the day: drone in Maryland makes history by delivering organ for successful transplant. Stay with us. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, this is Jarek Robbins. You are listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show with Brandon Rhymes. Please do what it takes to learn all that you have to live the life you want to live it fully, and find a way to give it by paying it forward to others.
Get in touch with Brandon online at consumerqb.com.
This is the Cannabis Podcast, powered by Trulieve on Radio Influence. It's an inside look and the scientific facts in and around the world of medical cannabis. Now, here is your host, Ian Beckles.
He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
All right, welcome back. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, helping you win in any marketplace. We are hiring agents right now to our team, aggressively recruiting agents. We have a plethora of leads. We're setting records, and we need more help. Need more help from agents. So if you're an agent out there interested in potentially joining a team, we'd love to talk to you. If you are a loved one of that agent and they're not future-proofing their business like Garry Keller with Keller Williams has done, that's a serious conversation that you should have with them and have them reach out. 813-670-7372. Give us a call, 813-670-7372, and we'd love to help you. ConsumerQB.com, of course, is our website. And this segment is brought to you by the Lucky Dill Restaurant, Deli, New York City Bar, Brooklyn Bakery, Catering, Banquets, and more. Home of the Sandwich That Ate Brooklyn. They've got 2 great locations here in Tampa Bay. Boy Scout Boulevard, and they also have an office or a location, restaurant location on Dale Mabry, Palm Harbor, that is, on US 19. So 4606 West Boy Scout Boulevard, Tampa. Check out LuckyDillDeli.com, LuckyDillDeli.com, home of the Sandwich That Ate Brooklyn. And they are much more than sandwiches. They've got some great food, soups, all types of meals, different types of entrees, excellent food, friendly staff. Lucky Dill Restaurant, the official restaurant partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Scott Kepler's in the house, mortgage approval group in here, and he's helping families get into home ownership. Got a lot of great programs and a lot of knowledge in the industry. I personally know Scott for close to 15, 20 years now. We go pretty far back.
Yeah.
Garry Schofield's in the house as well. Febre framework. So we're talking about real estate photography, drone photography, putting that best, that first impression out there. Virtual staging is an option as well. Let me tell you about a couple of hot listings that we've got here on with the Platinum MVP team as well. A couple of new hot listings that we have is property on River Hills. This property on River Hills, it's in Temple Terrace. This is a riverfront property, about a $500,000 purchase price in River Hills. It's Temple Terrace, and this is a great opportunity. It's close to USF. It has just an access to the water there, and it's on River Hills in Tampa. Temple Terrace is a beautiful property that we have listed there. Having an open house, we're setting up open houses this weekend as well. So we'd love to talk to you about that one. Also, the property, yeah, there it is, 223 South River Hills Drive, 223 South River Hills Drive. Gorgeous property in Temple Terrace with just a large family home right on the river. That river lifestyle. Grew up on the Caloosahatchee River in South Florida, and there's nothing quite like living on fresh water, a lake or a river. We also have a beach property available. This property's on Casablanca, 3607 Casablanca Avenue down in South Tampa, South St. Pete, that is. Beautiful property. Just listed, 2-2 beach house. Here's your private pool with a hot tub. Great location. You walk out, you go to the right, you're at the Hotel Zamora there. You go to the left, you're at the Don Cesar, and you have private deeded beach access with 3607 Casablanca Avenue, St. Pete Beach. Pretty cool opportunity to own here in beautiful Tampa Bay, Florida. All right, so Garry Schofield's in the house. Febre Frameworks, real estate photography. Man, you guys are doing a great job. You're helping realtors out there. You're helping sellers, maximize their profits by providing these beautiful, pictures, and the editing behind the scenes is just, that's an art form, man. It really is.
It is, and we're lucky to have the people. I say that our editors do magic. It's amazing, the before and after. This article that we've been talking about today, they talk about photography too. And there's one line in here, and I'm going to use it because I like it. It says, sure, you have a fancy camera and you take great photos of your cat, but they're suggesting that you taking what our photographers are trained to do to make the rooms look larger.
Yep.
They get different angles, things that the average photographer, it's not a cat. So what our professionals do is leaps above what I can do if I was going to try to take pictures of my own home. So they strongly suggest that. and it pays
Yeah.
off. And it pays off. So, but I like that line, and that's I'm going to continue to use it.
Yeah. He says you'll garner much more interest in your property and make more money if you leave the listing photos to the pros. And this says John Graff. He's a CEO and broker at real estate firm in Los Angeles. And depending on the real estate in question, it may be worth paying extra for virtual tours, drone videos, and other creative ways to generate interest in the property. And then pros can make the rooms look bigger, dimly lit areas much more brighter. So
you don't with Febre, you don't pay extra for the drones. Those are included in our package. So
nice.
Take that out of there. But it also says 90% of home buyers start their search online. The
Absolutely.
first thing they look at is that first photograph.
That's right.
It's got to be a killer photograph. That's the first thing, first impression. They
That's
don't
right.
like it, they're going to scroll to the other 100 till they come across one. There's one.
That's right.
Wow.
Yeah, it pops. It gets their attention. It's
it's got
maybe
to.
a night view as well. You got a day view and a night view. I know sometimes on the higher end properties you want to do that too.
Yep. There's a lot of houses have a professional lighting, I'll call it, but they look awesome at night. And that's a huge selling point. You got to get those photographs.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. So, Febre Frameworks here in the Tampa Bay market, helping real estate agents. You're also kind of ventured out into other areas of real estate photography or photography in general, correct?
Which direction?
Well, you're talking about your family portraits. I think Jeanette's talked about in the past, and
photographers are able to handle weddings. They do a lot of headshots right now for business cards.
Good point.
When's the last time you had yours updated?
Right.
I had to get mine updated. I look like a kid in the last one, so it didn't reflect what I look like. So and the virtual staging is something you mentioned. There's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, virtual staging is pretty cool. Can you give us a little bit of a word on virtual staging? What so the idea is you're going to edit in or somehow make the furniture fit the room. Is that correct?
It's usually it's used the most time when you have a vacant house and it's boring. You don't get a chance to take as many photographs. There's not much to show, right? So you take those empty homes. We can't change the value of the home by adding appliances or something like that. However, furniture, to show how furniture would fit in a room, they edit that furniture in, and it's really cool where if you see a couch through a hallway in one photograph, that same couch will be in that other room when you get there. I mean, the editing that Jeanette does most of that.
That's pretty cool.
And it is. It's like, wow, that was in the other picture in the other room, and there it is. So
and it's just a slight upcharge for the realtor client, correct?
Yes, and it's several different price points. The more photos you have done, the cheaper it is. But it's very affordable, and like you said, certainly easier than hauling all the furniture in and picking it back up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Logistics of that, one time it's done.
Yeah, and the cost, I know, some of the stagers, it's $1,000, $1,500, $2,000, per month. It's depending on how much furniture they're bringing, how many rooms they're putting decor in, and that's that's a challenge for a lot of sellers. Some of the sellers are on a tighter budget; they don't have that at their disposal, that income. So it's interesting. We're talking with Febre Frameworks here. Garry Schofield's in the house. In the previous shows, you may have heard Sean Febre, Manny Febre, Jeanette Salden on the show as well from Febre Frameworks. Want to get your guys' opinion on this program or this new announcement here. Inman News is kind of like the Wall Street Journal of real estate. I mean, it's Inman News if you haven't heard of it. They're a leader in the real estate space. Keller Williams' iBuyer program, Keller offers to debut in May. So the program will first go live in Dallas-Fort Worth area and should be live in as many as 8 markets by the end of the year. Now, this is interesting because this whole iBuyer craze has been out there. Some of these other firms, the Open Doors, those different types of firms coming in. Basically, it's hedge funds coming in, buying properties, instant offers online. So you go online, you fill out a form. Here's what my house is. Here's how many square feet it is. And then based on public data, zip code information, their appetite, for example, a lot of times they won't buy in flood zones and on the coast and things like that. But if it's a 2,000 square foot home in a gated community that they know, they like, and they feel, so then you go online as a buyer or as a seller, and you just fill out this form. So interesting. Garry Keller, just another power move that the billionaire owner of Keller Williams is bringing into the real estate space. So it says, the Austin-based real estate franchise is launching its own all-cash online home buying program in Texas and plans to expand the program to as many as 8 metro areas by the end of the year. So Keller offers will go live in Dallas-Fort Worth. So we're competing here. What he's saying is that Keller Williams is competing with Open Door, Knock, and then Zillow offers. So a lot of people don't realize Zillow's getting in the real estate game, and they're going to be making offers. Any opinion on this whole craze, Scott?
We've talked about it a couple times before. I'm not crazy about it. I understand the market a little bit as far as why some consumers would see that as an easier process.
Yep.
And less hassle. And, we kind of equated it in the past to, the difference between going to the grocery store or going to the convenience store, for your milk on the way home.
The convenience, yes.
Yeah, it's all about the convenience, but there's hidden charges.
That's right.
At least at the convenience store, they're, put that orange sticker on it so that you know how much extra you're paying. And I think that's where they get you is really in the terminology of what they're calling the fees. They just shift it.
That's right.
From one place on the balance sheet to another place on the balance sheet, but it's still there.
That's right.
And if you look at it, a lot of times it ends up being more than what it would cost you to sell your house for more with a local real estate professional.
That's right. Big time. We've analyzed the stats. Jess over at our office, about 500 agents in our office. She is kind of like the team manager of the team office. She does a great job with analyzing this. But yeah, it's interesting too. Keller offers will also pair users with a Keller Williams agent, potentially setting itself apart from other iBuyers that can theoretically cut agents out of the equation. So the other companies I had mentioned offer Open Door, these things. They interact without an agent. And so there's another niche where Garry Keller, the realtor at heart, and it was funny at the Keller Williams family reunion, he says, they had joked about him saying that he wanted realtor put on his tombstone,
right?
when he does pass. So there you go. There's an interesting story from Inman News. Stay with us right here. More from our expert contributors coming up. More from Garry Schofield in the house for Febre Framework. Scott Kepler, Mortgage Approval Group, and our drone story is interesting. Drone in Maryland makes history by delivering the first organ for a successful transplant. Stay with us right here. Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes. Do not touch that dial. I'll come right through the radio and grab your throat.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at ConsumerQB.com. Ian Beckler.
This is the Cannabis Podcast, powered by Trulieve on Radio Influence. It's an inside look and the scientific facts in and around the world of medical cannabis. Now, here is your host, Ian Beckles.
He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here. I'm your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm a top listing agent here in the Tampa Bay market, helping our sellers profit more on the sale of their real estate properties. And we'd love to talk to you buying, selling, or investing. Check out PlatinumMVPTeam.com. PlatinumMVPTeam.com. This segment is brought to you by WholeBodyFuel.com, the official meal delivery service of the Consumer Quarterback Show. WholeBodyFuel.com. Chef Brian Adamo and his team do a great job. Convenient, healthy, organic meals delivered directly to your home or office. What else do you have in this world if you don't have your health? Check out WholeBodyFuel.com. Let them know that the real estate quarterback sent you and take them up on special offers and incentives just by mentioning that you're a fan of the Consumer Quarterback Show. A couple of hot property listings here in Tampa Bay. We got some new listings I wanted to let you know about here, and some properties that are just looking for that right buyer. 1701 Mariner Way. This one's Tarpon Springs. 1701 Mariner Way in Tarpon Springs. This is a great opportunity. It's a corner lot, half an acre lot. The owner just added some upgraded landscaping there with the property, and he is motivated, completely renovated and upgraded. Beautiful flooring, beautiful kitchen work that's been done with the light color quartz or granite there. I'm not sure which one that is, but it's a beautiful property. 1701 Mariner Way, Tarpon Springs, Florida. And also 207 Coronado Drive in Clearwater Beach. $3.3 million listing. We did a $200,000 price reduction. Owners motivated. 5,500 square foot lot here, right across the street from the Wyndham Grand, as well as the Hyatt, and just over across the beach there is Pier 60. Just a great opportunity, great real estate, and check out those beautiful shots from Febre Frameworks, the official real estate photographer of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Hot real estate property listings at PlatinumMVPTeam.com.
Somewhere sunny and 75.
All right, every day we're going to tell you something positive in our feel-good segment of the day.
Tell me something good.
Got a drone in Maryland that's making this historic delivery of an organ to a successful transplant. So a drone has made history as it's become the first unmanned aircraft to deliver a donor kidney to surgeons at the University of Maryland for successful transplant in a patient with kidney failure. The successful demonstration illustrates the potential of unmanned aircraft system for providing organ deliveries that, in many cases, could be faster, safer, and more widely available than traditional transport methods. The patient, 44-year-old Baltimore resident, was discharged from the hospital after the transplant last week. The whole thing is amazing, said patient Trina Glipsy. A year ago, this is not something that you would talk about. As astonishing as a breakthrough as it's purely engineering from an engineering point of view, there's a larger purpose at stake, says Daryl J. Pines, PhD, the dean of the Maryland School of Engineering. And ultimately, it's not about technology, it's about enhancing human life. Pretty cool story. You know, we've had on the show here, we've had Clearwater Mayor George Creticus, great guy, great with a servant heart. Over the years, he's been one of the transport. He's taken them in his vehicle. You know, he's been trusted to take all types of organs and blood, and from hospital to hospital, wherever. But so that could be a new trend. Fly the bird up there, get them out there faster.
Yeah,
pretty cool.
Donor droner.
Donor droner. There you go, Garry. That's right. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. So let's jump into our lightning round here. We got our top tips, nuggets of advice, parting words of wisdom.
The lightning round.
I am so good at lightning rounds.
I majored in lightning.
All right, let's do some top tips, nuggets of advice, parting words of wisdom. Garry, Schofield, Febre Frameworks.
Well, I think we talked about a lot today, but I would like to mention one thing that we do that we would love to come to your office out there, real estate agents, and speak about the importance of listing photography, give you some live examples, and we even provide food when we do that for you,
nice.
and educate you that way on real estate photography. And,
very cool.
So give us a call, ask for me, and call the show, call you, and get in touch with me. But we'd love to do that.
Hey, offices out there, great opportunity. Come out, learn from Febre Frameworks. They're going to bring food, talk about maybe even setting up a day where you come in and knock out a bunch of headshots at once. Update those 1980s glamour shots, right? Those
Good
1990s.
idea. Good idea.
Yeah, there you go. Let's do it.
There's some agents
what's the
out
website?
there that are guilty of that.
Some agents are just you meet them in person. You're like, wait a second, who's that? Yeah.
They use the same photos on the dating websites too, I think.
Yeah, there you go. That's right, Gary. They sure do. What's the website again, Gary? Febre Frameworks.
www.febreframeworks.com. Pretty simple.
Yeah.
And our phone number 813-906-8300. If I can help you out, give me a call.
Yeah, beautiful videos as well on the website, and some just gorgeous walkthroughs. The property, getting that out of state buyer, that out of country potential buyer into that home as much as you can virtually, and that's what Febre Frameworks will help you do. All right, lightning round, top tips, nuggets of advice. Scott Kepler, Mortgage Approval Group.
My top tips would be back kind of to the article that we were talking about, and one thing that we didn't mention is that as more people put their homes on the market, that means there's a better selection of top quality properties for those that are out there buying. So will you potentially, according to this article, spend maybe a little bit more now than you would in the wintertime? Yes, but you're going to have a lot less selection, and you're going to kind of have what's left over from the spring and summer market.
Yeah.
And so I think now is an important time, even if you have a lease coming up in a few months, let's get the ball rolling for you.
Absolutely.
And let's get you out there finding the right property while there's a great selection of really good properties that are available.
That's right. Yeah, common pitfall is waiting too long to get the pre-approval. We see that happen every month, and then just had another deal fall out from the buyer side agent chose the listing or chose the lender. Of course, we needed more time to get the tax returns reviewed, and they had to go to the IRS, and they had to come back to the accountant. So we lost that deal.
Right.
So as a listing agent, I'm going to be more and more harsh on those pre-approval letters. I mean, it's ridiculous when that happens.
Absolutely.
Tying people's properties up. Got to go back through underwriting after you get the tax docs back. And most likely in that case, he's trying to get a higher ratio is what he was trying to do, or lower his ratio.
Potentially, or they're trying to verify. Right now is a tough time of year to verify tax returns, because the way the guidelines read is that if you are past the filing deadline for 2018 returns, then you have to be able to verify that they were filed. And so as long as they've got the proper paperwork showing it was filed, or they did a return receipt or something that they could track when they sent it in by regular mail, then you're fine. If they sent it by regular mail and there wasn't tracking, then it makes it a real challenge, because you have to wait for the IRS to catch up. And we all know with the government shutdowns how that works out. So slows things down a bit. But that's one of the reasons why we review as much of the documentation up front as we can. And in some cases with like a self-employed borrower, it might take a little bit longer to get that pre-approval, because we need that paperwork to determine exactly what we're working with. And I tell people all the time, I know it's a lot of paperwork up front in some cases when you're self-employed, but every time I sign one of these pre-approval letters, I'm putting my reputation on the line.
That's right.
And I don't want to do that,
By the way, one of those lenders was one of these national lenders, Quicken, whatever, I'll say the name. I heard that they have a 55% fall through rate.
Yeah,
55% fall through, and then they also charge $395 on the upfront. So they don't care; they're getting a $395 fee upfront anyways.
I didn't realize they were charging an upfront application fee.
Yeah, so it's ridiculous when you look at that. And I want to squeeze in real quick on some negotiation strategy here. So for my top tips here, 3 types of when you look at negotiation, 3 types of leverage. Okay, you got positive leverage, negative leverage, and then normative leverage. These can all 3 be used in certain strategies and positioning when you're looking at negotiation. So one of my favorite topics here, positive, we know positive. It's the ability to give someone something that they want, right? Or take it away. Negative, very similar, but it's the flip side of that. You're going to be invoking something negative, and that invokes into the amygdala portion of the brain, the fear factor of our brain, if you will, that negative side, that's going to invoke that fear of loss, right? So you got that normative. Sometimes people, they know the first two, but they don't understand what's normative leverage, right? So normative leverage is one where, again, when you're negotiating as well, you want to have active listening, you want to have open-ended questions, you want to be listening to all of the minor undertones. So when you think about normative, you want to know their religion. You want to know, hey, were they a Boy Scout? Were they in the military? Were they, what's their norms? What are they going to gravitate to when it comes to these decisions? So there's your three types of leverage when it comes to negotiations, and more from that coming up on our BABA event, BABA 31. But I want to thank our expert contributor, Scott Kepler. Always a pleasure. Mortgage Approval Group, support your local lender here. And Garry Schofield, good to see you again. Thanks for coming in, catching up. Febre Frameworks does a great job. Local photography, support your local economy again here. They're based right here in Tampa Bay. And we want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Pack up some food or clothing, carry it with you to and from your commute. Hand it to that person that you see in need, and be a force for good in the community. We'll see you next time right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for The Consumer Quarterback Show, weekday afternoons at 5 on AM 1380. The Biz.
Are you a real estate agent looking to take your business to the next level and supercharge your marketing? Hi, I'm Brandon Rhymes, owner of Platinum MVP Realty and host of the Real Estate Quarterback Show, syndicated radio and TV show talk program on iHeartRadio, 1025 The Bone, daily 5 o'clock drive time on 1380 The Biz, and our TV show is on WeBeam TV. We're looking for real estate agents that want to join our team and supercharge their marketing utilizing some of our innovative strategies. We utilize the Real Geeks platform, Facebook marketing, internet marketing, and a lot of the traditional methods as well. Postcard mailers mailed for you, postage, signage, business cards, all paid for by the company. Aggressive real estate splits and ways to help you win in any marketplace. We need you to go out, take applications, and work our plethora of leads that we're generating on a daily basis. Reach out by clicking the form below, and we'd love to have a confidential interview with you.